Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Just wanted to continue on with this kind of new thing I'm doing. I've already done one video about funny or effed up stories about my life. I wanted to do this one outside while drinking a beer just because it sort of fits with the story a little bit. All I need is for a cop to show up to make it even more ironic or fitting. Anyway. This goes back to, I used to hang out with this idiot, I'm going to call, well, his name's Mark, I'm not going to say what his last name is, but when I was living in Uxbridge for a little while, so there was this place in Uxbridge, it was called the Drinking Bridge. It was a train bridge, there was train tracks, and then there was a train, like a bridge that the train would go over, and underneath that was a spot where everybody used to go and drink and party and hang out. It was actually a pretty dangerous thing. Someone actually had put a, some people had put like boards there and everything so you could stand on it and make it a little safer, but if you were to get drunk and fall off the edge, you're dropping about 8-10 feet to glass and rocks and all kinds of dangerous things. So not a safe place to be, but everybody used to go there. So anyway, me and this guy Mark, we wanted to go there one day. We'd been there many times, and this one time we went there and grabbed a 2-4 and went along the started walking down the tracks to the bridge. And as we were walking, I saw a guy in a pickup truck turn and give us a good solid look. Now we were about 18, 19 years old at the time. We were still kids, about 30 years ago. And so I looked, I go, fuck, I hope that guy doesn't call the cops, because he did give us a good solid look, but I didn't really give it too much mind. So we went to the spot and walked under the bridge, and it's kind of like a steep little hill, and then you crawl down, and then you go onto the wooden part, and you sit there and you drink and shoot the shit. So both of us, we were writers. Like I write poetry and songs, and so did he at the time. I don't know what he's doing now, and I really couldn't care less. I don't know if he's dead or alive, and it doesn't mean anything to me either way, to be honest. But anyway, that being said, we were sitting there and we were going through our notes, and you know, he's trying to make some kind of a band or something, and I just wrote for shits and giggles. I fantasized about being in a band and everything, but you know, I never actually believed it was going to happen. I never really put any effort into making it happen, because realistically, it wasn't really in the cards. And anyway, that's a whole other direction. But so anyway, we're sitting there, and we have the 2-4 sitting between us, the case of beer sitting between us, and I'm reading my stuff and he's reading his stuff. You know, we're sort of reading each other's things, and I'm sitting there, I hear somebody walking out. When you're sitting there, people walk above you all the time because it's a common footpath. Trains weren't going on it anymore at this point, so it was common that people would walk by above you and you wouldn't really think anything of it. So this one time I just happened to look up and I saw it was a cop, and I just kind of thought to myself, fuck. But he was alone, first of all, which is very unheard of. But anyway, he walks down, and now let me tell you something about this guy Mark. Every month this moron would come up with a new persona. Like one day he was punk. I actually shaved his head into a mohawk and went to a bar one time, and I saw some of my punk friends, and he had a hat on. He rips his hat off trying to show off his mohawk. Now, my punk friends couldn't care less if you have a mohawk, if you have long hair, if you have green hair, if you have an afro. It doesn't matter. If you're a nice guy, they're going to like you. If you're an asshole, they don't care what you look like. Get the fuck out of here. That's, you know, that was our attitude. But anyway, he was like trying to, look at me, I'm like one of you, and they didn't pay him any mind. I don't even think they said 2 words to him, but anyway, he went through a punk phase. So one month he was going around telling everyone he was Native American. He went through a metal phase. He went through a phase where he pretended to be Spock from Star Trek. Okay, like this is this guy. And we used to hang out a lot, right? Before he started doing this fucked up shit in his head where he has to be a different thing every month. So anyway, this month he was gangster. He was Mr. Thug. He's Mr. like, yo man, yo fuck the police, fuck the, you know, that was his thing. So anyway, so this cop was walking above us, And then I see he comes down the hill, and he's walking towards us, and he comes across, and I see him, and he's being quiet, and I make eye contact with him, and he gave me a look, and I was like, okay, this cop's actually cool, because I could just, he wasn't like fuck you, like this, what the fuck are you doing kind of look. He just kind of smiled, like, and shook his head, and it was kind of like, you know better kind of thing, and I just kind of did the same thing back. So he gets literally right behind Mark, and I go, ah, fuck, there's a cop. And Mark's like, yo, man, where the fuck is the cop? Where? Show me, you know. And I literally go. So Mark turns around, and the cop is standing right behind him. And he turns around and goes, trying to be all hard and stuff. So the cop's just, he does the usual thing, what they always say, it's, what's up, guys? And I'm just like, hey, it's, he already caught us, so I'm still drinking my beer, but I'm not being a dick about it. And all he said to us at that point, he goes, okay, guys, I'm just going to say this. You guys look like you're old enough. You could be drinking in a bar. You shouldn't be out here. And I don't really care that you're... And he was a young guy, too, just to throw that. He wasn't like some older guy. He was probably in his 20s. And the fact that he came alone says something, too, that he wasn't really there to give us a hard time because, I mean, if we were actually dangerous people, we could have pushed him off the side or done something very dangerous and ran away. Most likely we would have got caught later on and been in a lot of trouble, but anyway, he did come alone. He wasn't really there to give us a hard time. He more or less just said, young kids are going to see you guys doing this, they're going to see the older guys doing this, and then they're going to do it, and it's not safe for them to be up here. And I was like, no problem, okay. And he said, you guys can have your beer. And he says to me at one point, I had the beer I was drinking, there was about maybe that much in it. I knew it was a can, or it was a bottle, but there would have been about, say, where my finger is, that about amount left in it. And so he goes, you got to empty that. So I just went glug, 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 and then put in the case, and he laughs. He goes, that's not what I meant. And I go, well, it's empty. But because he was so chill, I knew he wasn't going to have a problem with that, and I wasn't doing it to be a smartass. I was just doing it because he seemed to have a sense of humor. So all he says to us, and he goes, okay, I'm going to check. All I want to do is check and see if you guys have any warrants, and then if it's cool, you guys can be on your way. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm like, all right, cool. So he goes, all right, spell your name. What's your name? Jack Hackman. That's not my real name, but I gave him my real name. But for the point of the story, I'm going to use the name I use online. So, Jackakman. And da-da-da-da-da, he goes through it. And, okay, you're fine. And he goes to Mark. I'm not going to say his last name, but he goes, okay, spell your name. He goes, uppercase M, lowercase a, lowercase I. And he goes, whoa, stop. Can you start again? So he does the same thing. He goes, uppercase A, lowercase a, or uppercase M, lowercase a, lowercase r. And the guy's like, dude. I don't know if he said dude, but he's like, hey. And then he looks at me and goes, what's wrong with your friend? And he goes, and I'm just like, dude, like, Mark, chill. Like, just... And he goes, let's try this one more time. And then again, he goes, uppercase M, lowercase a, and he goes, stop. And he goes right to me, he goes, I don't have a problem with you. But if he doesn't stop giving me attitude, tell him right now, I'm going to arrest him, and you're going to have a case of beer that you get to enjoy all by yourself. It's up to him. And I just look at him, Mark, do you want to fucking relax? Just, and then he goes, M-A-R-K, and then he goes through whatever, and he had no warrants. He wasn't a gangster, he wasn't a thug, he was just an idiot. So, anyway, that being said, we didn't find anything. Now, this tells you how trusting and the cop understanding we weren't a threat, or we weren't gangsters, or we weren't anything. He goes ahead of us. Instead of waiting for us to go first so he can be behind us to watch us on our way, he goes ahead and just chills and walks down the tracks. And if the cop actually thought we were trouble or anything, he would have been behind us, because there's no way he would have walked with his back to us. Right? So anyway, he's up ahead, and now me and Mark, we're walking, we're carrying the 2-4, he's got one handle, I got the other, and the whole time we're walking, he's like, yo, man, the fuck, why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta take the cop's side, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, you're not a gangster. Like, the guy could have, number one, he could have gave us a ticket. He didn't do that. By all rights, we were breaking the law. Sure, we were just drinking a beer in public, but it's a victimless crime, but he could have gave us a ticket. It was within his, that would be him doing his job. He could have confiscated the beer because Mark was actually underage to be drinking. He could have made us pour the beers out. He didn't do any of those things. That's why I was telling him. I go, he's just said, like, don't do this. You're breaking the law. Stop it. That's all he said. Not in those words, but he was just being super cool. And he was just like, Mark's being a dick. So anyway, we get back to Mark's house, and then he's still going on about this. We're blasting some Snoop Dogg or something, like something that we were into at the time. Still into Snoop Dogg and stuff, but at that time when it was still new, we were blasting that stuff. And suddenly, you know, he's all fine. He's sort of over it. And I start making a joke, and then he goes, yes, that's highly amusing. And I'm just like, are you fucking doing the Spock thing now? And he's like, I don't know what you mean. And I just literally grabbed 6 beers and said, I'm out. And I just fucking laughed. And I never, I don't think, I think I might have spoke to him once since then. But it's just like, just morons I've met in my life. But yeah, that's just another messed up, fucked up story from my life. Doesn't really, it's not me being the idiot this time, but a lot of these stories will be me kind of being the idiot or me looking foolish. But I guess the only foolish part about that is that I considered him a friend, and nah, he was just a fucking loser. Anyway, thought I would share this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, like it, subscribe. I used some more subscribers, I only got 18. Anyway, I hope everybody's being safe. I don't know, you're doing the shots, you're doing your vaccines, whatever. Whether you are, whether you're not, that's not my business. I just want everybody safe and hope we get through this. We're all seem to be getting through it in Canada right now. I mean, I'm in Ontario, so we're finally catching up to the rest of Canada. Anyway, I'm not going to go that direction in this conversation, but anyway, everybody be safe, everybody be good, and have fun, and until the next one. Bye.